Good morning, wherever you are. Welcome back to Ida Vlog. I'm glad and I'm happy to be here this morning. And the purpose of this video is to just answer a couple of questions that I've been receiving from you. And these questions mostly come from my FB page, from my TikTok, especially people asking me. And also, I get some WhatsApp messages from some groups that I belong. And this question is based from people who are in Kenya, and they would like to find like kind of paid employment here in Australia. So look, the answers I'm going to provide here, it's based on my own understanding. I might be wrong, so I'm just gonna give what I know. But look, I am gonna answer it the best way I know. So if you if you're from Australia and you realize, oh, maybe she's left this point, or this one she would have added, just feel free to make a comment, and then what's gonna happen, I will redo it, or I'll talk about it in my next video. So I got a couple of points that I want to say, and these videos, I said, I am more focusing on people who are back in Kenya and they are looking, or they keep on asking me, how can I get a job? Get me a job. How can I get a job? How to find paid employment in Australia? First of all, for you to find a job in Australia, mostly jobs here in Australia, they look for the skills or the experience. But while to that, I want to make, because it's the morning here, I want to make, I made the smoothie the other day, but this time I made it in form of a juice. This is my first drink for the morning. This is what I'm going to have this morning. And then I'll make a cup of tea as time goes on in the day when I'm feeling, energized. I need to hop into my work, but look, I still have a couple of minutes. That's why I'm sitting here. So let's go back to the topic. Yeah, and you're saying to Ida, get me a job in Australia. Most of the jobs advertised here in Australia, number one, they're always looking for skills or experience. So for example, I want to give an example. Let's say you're looking for a job as a carer, for example, because many people will be saying, oh, Ida, can you find me a carer job back there in Australia? So the first thing, as a carer, you need to have the experience, and that means about 6 months experience. Mostly can be paid or unpaid. You need to show you have previously worked in that role to be able to get a job. And when I'm talking about jobs here in Australia, I am focusing on the people who are in here. So when I'm talking about experience, it is somebody who you already come here, you're already here in Australia. Then that is when they'll be looking for your experience. Number two, they also looking for somebody who, they're looking for someone who have the qualification, because you can't be saying you are looking for a carer job, but then where is your qualification? So what they'll be looking for, or the employer would be looking for, it's a certificate. For example, certificate 3 in individual support, certificate 3 in community services, certificate 3 in aged care. So you're back home and you're asking yourself, okay, Ida, I'm back in Kenya, and you have just talked about having a certificate 3 in aged care. I do have certificate 3 in aged care, but then can you get me a job? So what I'm going to answer to you, even though you have the certificate and you're in Kenya, if you could find a job when you're in Kenya, and then the organization could sponsor you to come here and a work visa. Because without a work visa, or without you being a permanent resident here, or without you being on a student visa and you can work a couple of hours, you wouldn't be able to work when you're here in Australia on a visitor visa. Look, I'm not an immigration agent here, and as I said, the information I'm providing here is purely the information that I haven't had. If I might miss something and you know more than me. I'm happy to collaborate with you. We can do a video and you can explain to the people, because look, for me, I'm basically trying to answer questions that people ask me on my channels, mostly TikTok. And also sometimes I receive messages from YouTube. I receive messages from my Facebook. I'm gonna have a sip of my drink. That feels so good. The drinks feel so good. And say for example, you're already here in Australia, then it becomes more easier when you have here, you're already here in Australia and you have the right to work. So when you're here, you need to have right to work, and that is a document that you get through the immigration. You provide your passport, your visa, and then you can get that. Or if you're a citizen, or if you're a permanent resident, then if you're already here, sometimes it's quite easy, because in here mostly you don't need to know anybody for you to get a job. For example, in my current role, I didn't need to know anybody. I just applied. I looked for the job search engines, for example, seek.com. I went through it. I saw a couple of jobs. I applied for this specific role that I'm doing right now. I applied for the role and I went through the interview like any other normal person who was going through the interview for the specific role, and I was offered a position. So that is how it works when you're here. Go to the website, search for the job, apply with your qualification, with your experience. If it suits your employer, they'll contact you, schedule a phone over the phone interview, face-to-face interview, or online during COVID, online interview. And then you get the job, you get induction and all those things. But of course, you're going to have to provide other things like police check, working with children check if you're working around kids. So it's a little bit easier when you're already here, but when you're back in Kenya, that is when it is tricky. And that is the reason why mostly people saying to me, Ida, can you find me a job? I have no job to find for you, because mostly you need to get your skills. First of all, before you come here or you get a job here in Australia, you need to have your skills assessed by the Australian assessing bodies. Oh my God, I think I've talked too much over this video, and this video, or the information I've provided here, is basically from my brain. And that's what I know. And yeah, and I just want to send a message out there for the people trying to contact me, asking me, find me job here, find me job there. So that's how here it works here in Australia. So yes, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for supporting me. Until next time, I need to continue having my juice and make a cuppa. I'm going to make a cuppa as well. So I'm going to put the kettle on. Make a brekkie for myself. Yes, so that I can let's get started on work. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. We are at 500 subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. Until next time. Ta-da!